Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel. And I know I'm late to the punch with this, but I have had a busy week. Actually a busy few weeks. Yeah. So all of my stuff is packed. You'll notice there's no painting on my wall and nothing in the background anymore. And it's because I'm going to be moving into my own apartment very soon. So I've been kind of busy with all of that, and that has taken up some time. I promise I can breathe. But, I wanted to finally dive into this book because I have dove into the Space Marine book, and I'm going to be doing army lists and advice on some of the things in there. But I really wanted to dive into the Necron book and give my thoughts on it, because a lot of people are very mixed about this book, whether or not it is actually good or bad. And that's kind of the same thing that I saw with the Space Marines book. Like, it is a good book, but the stratagems suck. And its synergy is kind of all over the place right now. I want to see some really good army lists for that. That's what I really want to see. So, with that being said, let's dive into this book. Now, right off the bat, I do want to show you guys this. If the light will let me. But I do have a bunch of tabs on the sides, and I highly suggest that you guys do this. So the first tab I have is rules, then Dynasty Codes, stratagems, the relics, the warlord, no wait, that's the synaptic abilities and the Satan abilities. What the heck is that one? That one got messed up. Warlord traits, rules, I'm reading it backwards by the way, so forgive me. Satan powers, data sheets and abilities. The heck is that one? Weapon profile and points. Sorry, it is really difficult to read my handwriting backwards. So, forgive me. But I highly suggest that everybody does this because it makes flipping through this book really easy. So the first part of this book is pretty much just useless lore. It's the lore that we've come to know from the Nexus and things of that nature. But yeah, if you just read Pariah, it's pretty much all just copy-paste in here. And there's a few other things, like their origins got changed a little bit. The Silent King took over the spot of the Outsider. There's a lot of things. There's like little to no mention of like some of their older lore. So it is another soft retcon of their lore yet again. I'm kind of annoyed by that, to be honest. Like, every edition of Necrons is a soft retcon to the next book of Necrons, so they have, like, really inconsistent, kind of similar lore. And they just pass it off as, oh, that was just another dynasty. So it's kind of a cheaper way of doing it, in my opinion. But is what it is. I do really want to get the Silent Kings model. That looks really, 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 really dope. And mine's going to be purple. And it's going to be amazing. Like, look at this model. Like, hell yeah. I can't wait to make that purple. It's going to be incredible. So for those of you, those are not words, those are sound effects. For those of you that don't know, my Necron dynasty is, their colors on their shoulder pads are purple, royal purple. Their energy is green. They're pretty much silver, spooky, scary skeletons. But when I do up this, which I really want to get, if somebody wants to send it to me, that would be amazing, and I would love you forever. And then I can make an entire video about building and painting it. Actually, it would probably be a series of videos. It'd probably be like 3 videos. Yeah, so if you sent this to me, you'd get 3 videos out of it. Just saying. But I want to paint all the black, purple, all the silver up on it. Oh, this thing's going to look dope as hell, and I'm super excited about it. So we do see some new models. I really want to get the Void Dragon strictly to convert it into Sigma from Overwatch. So this isn't really going to be an analysis. Is this codex actually good? This is kind of my first read through of it, and I've been a little bit late and a little bit lackluster about it, so forgive me. I haven't played Necrons prior to this edition. I've played against them. I played against them at their peaks when they were done in tournaments and everything. 8th edition was not kind to them. They had like 1 or 2 tournament lists, and that was it. And that was pretty much, if you went first and destroyed one airplane, they just gave up. They sat in the same tier as I saw Demons in, where if you kill the big ones, their army fell apart. Oh yeah, and you could say the triple Doomsday Arc was pretty good, but it was kind of mediocre. It was easily survivable. And they definitely got a buff in this edition with the rules changes and everything, but they also got a nerf because of the terrain rules. So there's a lot to consider when you look into armies like this, because it's like, did this actually get buffed? Or is it buffed enough that it's in the same spot as it was before, but now there's terrain rules that are affecting it? These are things that we have to consider. Like, for instance, most armies are going to be hiding behind terrain that's giving my opponent a -1 to hit or +1 to my armor, or both in some cases. So it really, 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 really depends on the positioning of my opponent's army if my weapons are going to be effective. This is why I like my Sisters of Battle, and why I like my Space Marines, is because I can engage close and negate those effects. And I feel like Necrons are going to have to do that. They're going to have to balance themselves out and put some of their bigger units up top and as high as they can get, so that they can deny those saves. Because otherwise they're going to be in the same spot where they're just sitting in the back praying that they hit something, and then if they do, they're like, yes! And if they don't, they're just like, oh, that figures. Super industrial laser cannon designed specifically for bombing a planet just hit a grot, and the grot survived. This is 40k after all. So, I'm going to start on page 49, which is the rules. I really hope when they do the Orc Codex, it's the rules. I would be so happy if they did that. I hope they fully embrace the Orc aesthetic in their Codex, and a lot of their pages are just written in Orcish. Because they can do that now. So, Battleforged rules, Detachment Abilities, Stratagems, and Cryptech Arcana. I'm going to remember to say that right, because a lot of people say that I say it wrong. And I do say it wrong, but I'm still going to defend the way I say it, because I'm a jerk. So, we have all the match play rules, the Crusade rules. I'm not going to go over Crusade. Datasheets, War Gear is listed there. Points, rules, references. Okay. None of this is important on this page. I don't know why. I think I just separated it so that I can get these 2 pages. So, Detachment Abilities. And it shows this really cool... This really cool Lich Guard, which I really like. I love the Lich Guard, especially when they have Kopeshes. The Kopesh Shield combo, it's great. Necron Detachment is one that only includes models with the Necron keyword, excluding models with unaligned keyword. So in other words, you can bring your Zotes into this army, and it doesn't change the fact that you brought Zote into the army. Necron detachments gain the Royal Court and Dynasty Agents and Star God abilities. Necron units in the Necron detachment gain the Dynasty Code abilities. Troops in the Necron detachment gain objective secured, or OBSAC. OBSAC, we all know. I'm not going to go over it. If you don't know what OBSAC is, it's objective secured. I just said I wasn't going to go over it, so I'm not going to go over it. Dynasty Codes. All Necron units with this ability and all models in them gain the Dynasty Code so long as every unit in the detachment is from the same dynasty. Dynasty Codes depend upon which dynasty they are from, as shown on the following pages. Okay, so that's just the chapters. I don't know why they changed it to Dynasty Codes. What was it in the last one? Wasn't it Crips or something like that? I forgot. Royal Court. Alrighty. Let's see. When mustering your army, I always hate the way they say that. If it contains a Silent King model, that model must be your warlord, otherwise your army cannot... wait, what? Must be selected as your warlord. Otherwise, if your army contains a Pharaon model, that model must be selected as your warlord. Otherwise, if your army contains an overlord... Wow, that is really, really, really stupid. But I get it. They have their whole aesthetic of, here's the Pharaoh, here's the Lord, or here's the Pharaoh, here's the Overlord, here's the Lord. It's kind of weird that they don't have the Magicians as part of that. Oh, for those of you that don't know, Egyptian mythology, cryptex, or what they're based off of, is just a magician. Okay, and then you got the Star God rules, but we're just going to dive into it. So Dynasty Codes. Now this is going to be interesting because I have to pick what my Necrons are from. So again, this video is kind of all over the place, but it's just my take on the Necrons. So we got the Memphis Solar Fury. At 3 inches, that a range characteristic of ranged weapons, excluding pistols, that models with this code are equipped with. That's pretty decent. Each time a model with this code makes a ranged attack that targets an enemy within half range, the armor penetration characteristic of those values improved by 1. That's pretty good. That's actually really good. I really like that. Actually, this is the one that I always went up against. When the protocol of the Vengeful Star becomes active for your army, if every unit in your army, excluding Dynasty Agent or Satan Shard units, has this code, you can select both the command protocols directives instead of just one. The hell does that mean? Did I miss something? Where the hell is that? I feel like that should be stated before any of this. I definitely feel that it should. Okay, so maybe that's good? I feel like I should find those Dynasty Codes. Traits, stratagems, more stratagems. I have no idea what that is. It's kind of a pain in the butt, isn't it? Is it on like the Warlord or something? Relics. Powers of the Satan. Crusade rules. I don't care about Crusade rules. Data sheet. Command protocols. Okay, so it's all the way on page 81. Holy crap, that is really far for an ability. Like, hey, I want to read what this does. It's never going to reference... Oh, it does reference the page. Oh, I'm dumb. Anyway. So, we'll read about those later. The next one is... Novok. I have no idea how to say that. Novoka? Novoka? Anyway. How do you say KH? And what language are they trying to reference with that? Because if it's English, that's going to be very difficult to pronounce. But if it's... Anyway, whatever. Add 1 to charge rolls made for units with this code. That's really good for, you know, their melee-based army. Each time a model with this code makes a melee attack, if that model's unit made a charge move, was charged or performed a heroic intervention, pretended to be a space marine, improve the armor penetration characteristics of that attack by 1. Ooh. Okay. Increase the armor penetration characteristic of the attack by 1. I feel like anything like after AP 4 is pretty much pointless. So if you can get up to AP 4, that's pretty good, but don't hit things with invo saves, because then AP -2 is the best you're going to get before the invo save is taken. When the protocols of the Hungering Void becomes active for your army, if every unit in your army, excluding Agent and Shard, has this code, you can select the command protocols directive instead of just 1. You can select both. Okay. So again, we're going to have to find out what those damn things do, because it seems essential for these armies. That's really weird. I don't know if I like that. Feels like I need to just flip through like a ton of different pages just to find out what the hell my army does. And it's so far away. This is like page 52 to page 81. Like, that's a good chunk of the book. Alright, so the next one is Nephric. I remember how some of these are pronounced, so please forgive me. Oh, they have Sotek in here. Okay. Models with this code have a 6+ invulnerable save. Anything with a 6+ invulnerable save will annoy the piss out of your opponent. I don't really think I like that one, though. Each time a unit with this code advances, it can translocate. If it does, it does not make an advance roll. Instead, the unit ends its phase... until the end of the phase, add 6 inches to the movement characteristic of the unit. That's okay, but I don't really think that that's good. Are you really going to be advancing with this army, though? See, that's the thing. Their weapons are mostly short range, mid-range. You're going to start 10 inches up the board. So plus your movement is 16 inches, plus 24 inches is what? 16 plus that is 40 inches. You're going to be into your opponent's deployment zone. So advancing doesn't seem to matter for shooting. And I don't know if you're going to want to go first for a charge roll. See, that's the thing. That's where I'm confused. Is that good? I don't think that's good. Each time a model with this code falls back or translocates to the end of the phase, models in the unit move across the models and terrains as though they weren't there, which is pretty cool. When the protocol of Sudden Storm, page 81, becomes active, you can choose both command protocols. Okay. Is that good, though? No, I don't think this one is good. It's strictly... And now, I could be way wrong, by the way, but to me this doesn't sound good. Then not compared to the last two, which the last one, Novak, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced, but that dynasty just seems a little bit better. And the Mephrit just seems like the best so far. Because anything that's upping the damage and, well, not the damage, the AP of my weapons is always just going to be better, in my opinion. Okay, the next one is... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Nope, I forget. Units with this code have objective secured ability, so all of them have it. Each time an attack is with an armor penetration characteristic of -1 is allocated to a model with this code. If that model is wholly within its control's deployment zone, that attack has an armor penetration characteristic of 0 instead, which is never going to happen. When the protocol of Eternal Guardian becomes active, you get the 2 command codes. This one sounds terrible. So I've already eliminated those 2 as the ones that I want to choose, because that's what we're doing here. We're just going over what I want to do. I'm sorry, this is how I'm going to view this codex. So you may have a completely different playstyle than me. So keep that in mind when building your army list. Do not take what I'm saying as this is exactly what you need to do. Okay? Okay. I'm just glad we had that chat. Okay. Scissorak, I think is the next one. Uncanny Artificer. Each time a model with this code would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, roll a d6 on a 5-up. That wound is not lost, which is pretty much pointless. Each time a unit with this code is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 wound roll that when making that unit's attacks. It's pretty decent. When this protocol of Undying Legion becomes active, you get 2 command protocols. And it's the same as all the other ones. Okay. Nah. I'm not feeling it. I just don't think that one's that good. I mean, it's kind of cool that you can reroll 1 wound roll, but I feel like that's not that good. I don't know. If it was like... Okay, so if it was like reroll the wound rolls, or reroll 1 wound rolls of 1, I'd be like, okay, let's take it. But it's like, I'm taking units of 3, so This guy's going to be rerolling 1 wound roll, and it seems like it's a waste for the amount of attacks. Okay, and Sotek, each time a morale test is taken for a unit with this code, you can reroll that test. That's pretty good. Instead of following the normal rules for rapid-fire weapons, models with this code shoot rapid-fire weapons make double the number of attacks if the shooting model's target is within 18. That's pretty good. I really like that. When the protocol of Conquering Tyrant becomes active, you get to command protocols. Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So far, I'm thinking Memphrit, though, is the best. Or we can make our own. And we got a good chunk of them to make from. So I'm really, I might do this instead of the custom thingamajigs. Or instead of the pick one, like I do with my normal armies. I'm not going to go over stratagems just yet, but let's see these. Dynasty Traditions. If your army chooses Dynasty does not have an associated Dynasty code, page 52 and 53, you must instead create their Dynasty code by selecting one code from the Dynasty trace below. Then you can select one additional. Okay. Okay, so I can pick 2. It's the same as everything else for make your own chapters. So, Oh, so you have to pick one from this list and one from this list. That's interesting. I like that. So, let's see. Eternal Conqueror. When units with this code have objectives secured, I don't like that. Okay. Pitless Hunters, or Pitiless Hunters. Instead of following the normal rules for rapid-fire weapons, shoot the rapid-fire weapons, make double the number of attacks if either the shooting model's target is within half range of its weapon, or it remains stationary. Wait, what? Instead of following the normal rules for rapid-fire weapons, models with this code shooting rapid-fire weapons make double the number of attacks if either their shooting model's target is within half range of the weapon's range, or if the shooting model is infantry and its unit remains stationary. That's too much circumstance for me. I wouldn't remember that. Superior Artisan. Each time a unit with this code is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll one wound roll when making that unit's attacks. I still don't think that's good. Units with this code, and this is the next one, this is Rad Weathered. Units with this code have the ability Rad Weathered Aura. When an enemy unit, excluding a vehicle, is within 1 inch of this unit, subtract 1 from the toughness characteristic of the model. That's really, really, really fantastic. I really like that. But I'm not going to be using a lot of close combat, am I? Well, I have 9 of those tri-legged crawly guys. What are they called? Just going to call them tri-legged crawly guys. I think they're something destroyers. Immovable Phalanx. Oh, cool. They're bringing in the Phalanx. Each time an attack with a damage characteristic of 1 is allocated to an infantry model with this code, unless the model units made a normal move, advanced move, or fall back this battle round, add 1 to the armor save. Wait, why don't you just say remain stationary? I don't like that. That's too circumstantial. Models with this code have a 6-up invo save. Nah. Each time a model with this code makes an attack against a character unit, you add 1 to the hit rolls. That's pretty good. Each time a morale test is taken with this code, you can reroll it. Meh. Each time a unit with this code is selected to shoot or fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll when making that unit's attacks. Okay. Add 1 to charge rolls? No. Unit with this code benefits from the selected directive of your army's active command protocols. I think I'm just going to go with Manfred. Like, I just read through all of these and they all just seem meh. Like, I'm just going to go with Manfred. Screw this. Alright, I'm going to skip through stratagems because I don't really care too much about the stratagems just yet until I get a feel for their army. And as far as I could tell, like in their previous editions, they just played as Space Marines. Just moved up halfway up the board and shot. Okay. So this is the Cryptek Arcana, so he gets to do all sorts of things, like level up, which is kind of cool. Oh, all of his Cryptek-y stuff has point costs. Alright, that's pretty cool. Do I have a Cryptek? Oh yeah, I have the Cryptek on the boogie board. Or on the surfboard. Do I have another Cryptek? I think I just have him. I don't feel like I'd go Cryptek heavy, though. I just feel like my guys have only 1 Cryptek, so I wouldn't really go crazy with bringing him. I'd probably just want to bring more infantry and lords. So, I'm just going to skip the Cryptek. Actually, should I script... Bleh, I can't even talk. Do I want to go through Cryptek? I know that these guys are ridiculously good, so I should go through them. So, let's see. Psychomancy. He's a Psychomancer. Model only. At the end of your movement phase, select 1 enemy unit, excluding a vehicle unit within 18 inches of the bearer. Roll 3d6. If the total is equal to or greater than the enemy's leadership characteristic, it suffers d3 mortal wounds. It's pretty good. Essentially a psychic power. At the start of your opponent's shooting phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches and visible to the bearer. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from their hit rolls. That's actually pretty solid. Like, I would take a Cryptek with that thingy. Let's see, and that is... It's only, what, 15 points? Just to give something -1 to hit me? That's pretty good. The next one, once per turn, the first time a saving throw is failed for the bearer, the damage characteristic of that attack is changed to 0. Can I take 2 of these? How does this work? If your army is Battleforged and includes any Necron detachments, yada yada yada, and you must muster your army, blah blah blah, you can upgrade any of your Cryptek models in your army by giving them an item from the Cryptek Arcana chosen from those presented here. Each time you give a Cryptek model in your army, it looks like you can only give 1. Ah, that sucks. Kind of wish you can give 2, because that ability to make damage 0 for the first failed armor save is really cool. But it does, oh no, it just says failed saving throw, so I was like, if it was just armor save, he can pop his invo and then he would just die. But no, it's just armor, it's just save. The bearer gains the dimensional translocation ability. I think that's worthless. Once per battle at the start of your hero step. For your army charge phase, you can select 1 friendly dynasty unit within 6 inches of the bearer. Unless that unit is within engagement range of an enemy unit, it can perform heroic intervention as though it was a character. That could be useful. That could really be useful. But I don't know just how useful. Does that make sense? Once per battle at the start of your heroic intervention step. Oh, I already read that one. Chronomancer model only. In your shooting phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of the bearer until the start of your next turn. Half the advance rolls and charge rolls made for that unit. So if you take 2 Crypteks, you can actually stack these abilities, which is kind of cool. So you can give them -1 to hit and force them to fail charges. So they just kind of suck for a turn. A failsafe overcharge. Okay, that just sounds cool. What does that do? Technomancer model only. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Cryptek unit within 9 inches of the bearer. That also includes the bearer. Until the start of your next command phase, add 1 to the attack characteristics of models in that unit. If that unit is a monster or vehicle, add V3. Ooh. That's actually pretty good. Monster. Wow, you can make a spider, like, insanely powerful. I want to get 2 more spiders. I really like spiders. I also get silence to my phone because it's very annoying. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. There we go. Okay. Giving D3 attacks to something is really, really, really good. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Dynasty Core or Dynasty Cryptek unit within 9 inches of the bearer. Until the start of your next command phase, each time a ranged attack is made against that unit, if the attacker is more than 12 inches away from that unit selected, it is treated as having the benefits of light cover. Huh, that's actually pretty good too. Damn it, there's so many good abilities. Plasmancer model only. Once per battle in your command phase, the bearer can activate this item. If it does, select 1 point on the battlefield anywhere within 12 inches of the bearer and place a marker on that point. At the start of your next command phase, roll a d6 for each unit within 6 inches of the center of that marker, subtracting 1 being if it is a character. On a 4 and 5, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, that unit suffers 3 mortal wounds, and the marker is removed. So that's kind of good for... I said this before about orbital bombardment and how good that can be. You can actually place this on an objective and force your opponent to leave. But is it worth taking a Plasmancer, though? I don't think so. Okay. Next one. At the start of your charge phase, At the start of your opponent's charge phase, you can select one enemy unit that finishes its charge move within 6 inches of the bearer. Roll a d6 on a 2+. That enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. That could be super nasty. Especially, I wonder if you can take... Make a note that you're in your army roster if given the Cryptek. Wait, can you give them all the same one? If your army is battle-forged and includes any Necron detachment, yada yada yada, then when your army is mustering, you can upgrade any of the Cryptek models in your army by giving them an item from the Cryptek Arcana chosen from the presented here. Each time you give a Cryptek model an item from the Cryptek Arcana, the power rating is increased by the amount shown and blah blah blah. If you're playing match play, blah blah blah, points, yada yada yada. Make a note on your army roster each time you give a Cryptek an item from here. So, if you gave... You could actually double up on these abilities. Huh. That's actually good to know. That's really good to know, because I can give 2 units -1 to hit. Or 2 units if they... Or 1 unit can take a freaking 6 mortal wounds for charging 2 of them. Or charging a unit of bodyguards in front of them. Ooh, that could be nasty. That could be really nasty. Depending on how cheap Crypteks are, this might be a viable tactic. Let's see. Technomancer model only. Once per battle, when the bearer uses the Rites of Reanimation ability, you can select one friendly Dynasty blah 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 unit within unit to be affected by that ability instead of the Dynasty Core unit. Okay. So it can affect other things that isn't just core. So that's pretty good. Unless the bearer is the closest eligible target, models cannot target it with ranged attacks. Is the last one. I'm liking the D3 mortal wounds for charging it, and the ability to give -1. That's really powerful. So then we have Necron Warlord traits and Dynasty Warlord traits, which is kind of neat. Enduring Will. Each time an attack is allocated to this warlord, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic. Pretty decent. Each time your warlord makes a melee attack, you can re-roll the wound roll. That'd be really good for a Destroyer Lord. Or a close combat character. Each time your warlord would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, kind of useless. This warlord has the following ability: Immortal Pride. When a friendly dynasty, I keep wanting to say dynasty core unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a combat attrition test is taken for the model, ignore all modifiers. That's really good if you want to get a large based Necron commander like a Command Barge and run nothing but warriors. Thrall of the Silent King, add 3 inches to the range of this warlord's aura abilities to a maximum of 9. In addition, when this warlord uses its My Will Be Done, the Lord's Will or Adeptus Strategist ability, you can select one friendly Dynasty Core unit within 12 inches of this warlord instead of within 9 inches. That's actually really solid. Implacable Conqueror. When a friendly Dynasty Core unit is within 6 inches of this warlord, you can reroll the charge rolls made for, again, another melee-focused one. Honorable Combatant. Not something I expected to see from Necrons. In the fight phase, each time your warlord is selected to fight, it can engage in honorable combat. If it does, select one enemy character unit. Until the end of the phase, add 2 to the attack characteristics of this warlord, but it can only make attacks that target the enemy character unit. That's actually really good. Just 2 attacks for free. That's not bad, but it gets rid of his other abilities, so you really gotta figure that one out. So if I were to pick one, it would be probably Thrall of the Silent King. That one sounds really good. Or Immortal Pride sounds pretty good too. They actually have good warlord traits, so that's pretty cool. So the Manfred one is add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics of this warlord. That's also really good. That's fantastic. That's the only one I care about because the rest of the dynasties kind of sucked. I'm not going to go over relics because I will get into that later. I do want to bring a Satan, and I do want to make a Satan, and I can't wait to buy the Void Dragon. The Void Dragon looks so dope. And I know a lot of people are like, why isn't it a dragon? And I wanna point this out. They never were. They never looked like dragons. At all. Ever. In fact, GW's writing has clearly hinted that when they use the word dragon, they mean son of the devil and not like the mythological or Dungeons and Dragons version of dragons. Also, if you read the Necron lore all the way back into 3rd edition, when they built the Satan bodies, they were human formed, not animals. I don't know why they would make a dragon for the Void Dragon. They just named him the Void Dragon, or named them. To God, it's beyond gender. Okay, so I do definitely want to bring. I do want to bring the Void Dragon. The Void Dragon just looks so cool. Like, why would you not bring him? If you get 3 wounds a phase, it's amazing. It's only got 9 wounds too, but you can target him regardless. Alright, Powers of the Satan. First one is roll d6, add 1 to the result of the Satan shard is a Tesseract Vault on a 3 through 5. The closest enemy unit within 24 and visible to the Satan shard suffers 3 mortal wounds. On a 6, a unit suffers D3 plus 3 mortal wounds. So just free wounds, just zap on a 3 plus. Time Arrow. Select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Satan shard. Roll d6, adding 1 to the result if it's a Tesseract Vault. If the total equals or exceeds the wound characteristics of any model that is in that enemy unit, your opponent selects one of those models to be destroyed. Just insta-gib somebody. That's pretty cool. Skyfalling Stars. Select up to 3 enemy units within 24 inches of the Satan Shard. For each of these units, roll d6 on a 1 through 5. The dice result is less than the number of models in that unit. The unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. If the Satan Shard is a Tesseract Vault, then the unit suffers 3 mortal wounds from this power instead of d3. So what happens on a 6? Cosmic Fire. Roll d6 for each enemy unit within 9 inches of the Satan Shard. On a 4+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. If the Satan Shard is a Tesseract Vault, it suffers 3 mortal wounds automatically instead of d3. So let me change that. It's d3 instead of 3. I like Cosmic Fire. That's pretty good. Seismic Assault. Select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches invisible to the Satan. Roll 1d6 for each model in that unit. Added 1 if it's a Tesseract Vault. For each 6+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound to a maximum of 10 mortal wounds. That's kind of crap. And Transdimensional Thunderbolt, which is my favorite attack name in 40k, because it's definitely an anime attack. Select 1 enemy unit within 24 inches invisible to the Satan. An enemy character unit with a wound characteristic of 9 or less cannot be selected for this power while it's within 3... Okay, so while it's being bodyguarded. Roll 1d6. On a 2+, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Then roll a d6 for each other enemy unit within 3 inches of the selected unit. On a 4+, the unit suffers 1 mortal wound. If the Satan Shard is a Tesseract Vault, it's within 6 inches instead of 3. Holy crap. Damn, Transdimensional Thunderbolt has actually got game. That might be nasty. Just automatically zap a unit, just d3 mortal wounds right off the bat. And then just... Yeah, that's really good. Unique Satan powers. Satan Shard of the Deceiver. Cosmic Insanity. Select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches invisible to this duder. Roll 1d6 and add... roll 1d6 and add this Satan Shard's leadership characteristic to the result. If your opponent rolls 1d6 and adds their leadership characteristic, if the selected units rolls 1d6 and adds their leadership to the selected unit to the result, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound for each point by which your total exceeds your opponent's. I don't think that that's good. Even if he has a leadership of 10, at most you're getting 16, and you're only dealing like 3 mortal wounds. Select 1 enemy unit within 9 inches and visible to the Satan Shard of the Deceiver. Roll 3d6. For each 4+, the unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Holy crap, the Nightbringer's got game. It's a 4+, but damn. Oh, that could be so nasty. So at most, that's 9 mortal wounds that he can just deal out just immediately to something that's in base within 9 inches of him. And then we have the Void Dragon, Voltic Storm. Select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches invisible to this Satan Shard. An enemy character unit with blah, 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 blah. It's got the character. It can't target characters if, the character keyword thingy. Roll 1d6 on a 2+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. It suffers d6 mortal wounds instead if it is the vehicle keyword. Then, until the start of your next turn, if that unit is a vehicle whose characteristics change as it loses wounds, then it halves the number of wounds it has remaining when determining its characteristics to use. Whew. I still think Transdimensional Thunderbolt and a Nightbringer might be the best. Okay. Then they have their objectives that they can grab, which I'm not going to go through. They have their Crusade rules, which I don't really care about right this second. So we actually get to, well, them, the Necrons. And we're about 45 minutes into this. Holy crap. That took a while just to get through the beginning of this. Okay. So we're looking at not the Sotek, the Memphis Dynasty. So I don't think we get anything cool, unfortunately. I don't know if we can take the characters with different ones. I think they all have different keywords. Do they? Yeah, it's Sotek. Archaeon, or the Traveler can be taken with any of them. He doesn't have a dynasty. That's interesting. Neither does Orkin the Diviner. He doesn't have a dynasty. Huh. That's kind of cool. Illuminator has no dynasty. Your Sotek for Nemesis. Trazine has no dynasty. Ooh, we're definitely going to get Trazine. I am going to convert my own Trazine. I'm probably going to buy the model and then just build my own Trazine because I hate his little hunched model. And especially because it's on 25mm bases, it's crap. But since I do love my gay best friend, Trazine the Infinite, let's read through his stats. Movement of 6, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 5, toughness 5, wound 6, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 3+ save. You can only include one of him, who would have guessed? His weapon is a melee weapon at strength +2, so strength 5, 7. AP -1, D3 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a character model is destroyed by this attack, each enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. Holy crap, you want to challenge people with him. Living Metal Command Protocols, which we went through. Well, we didn't actually go through either of those. We probably should. That's really, 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 really big. At the start of your command phase, each model in the unit regains 1 lost wound. So that's Living Metal. Reanimation Protocols. Each time an enemy unit shoots or fights, after it makes its attacks, if any model in the unit were destroyed as a result of those attacks, but the unit was not destroyed, that unit's reanimation protocols are enacted, and those destroyed models begin to reassemble. Each time a unit's reanimation protocols is enacted, make a reanimation protocol roll for the unit by rolling a number of d6 equal to the combined wound total characteristics of all of the reassembled models. Each reanimation protocol roll of a 5+ is put into a pool. The reanimation pool, a reanimation protocol roll can never be modified more than +1 or -1. Okay. If the number of dice in that pool are greater than or equal to the number of wound characteristics of any model reassembling model, select one of those models to be reanimated. A reanimated model is added back to the unit with full wounds remaining. It can only be set up within engagement range of an enemy unit that is already within engagement range with... okay. Cannot, if the unit charged, be set up closer to any enemy unit that target was declared... okay, I get it. Cannot, if your opponent charge phase... Cannot, if it is your opponent's charge phase, be set up closer to any enemy unit that are targets of the charge declared by this unit that phase. No longer count as even being destroyed for the purposes of morale this turn. Okay, easiest way of saying this. I take five of my warriors die. Blech. Okay? There's 5 of them remaining. I roll 5 reanimation protocols, and I get 3, I put 2, 3 that pass. Now I have 3 in my pool that are greater than or equal to the wound characteristics of the warriors. Thus I can bring 3 of them back. But if those are multi-wound models and I lose 2 of them and they only have 2 wounds and I roll 2 successes, I only get 1 of them back with full wounds. I believe is how it's worded. Could have that completely wrong. In the shooting phase, an enemy unit targets makes an attack against a 5-man strong unit of Lich Guard, destroying 3 models and leaving another one, only 1 wound left. The Lich Guard unit Reanimation protocols are enacted, and you can now make reanimation protocol rolls for it. Each Lich Guard has a wound characteristic of 2, so if you would roll a total of 66, if you roll a 1, 3, 4, 5, and 5, and a 6, you would put 3 dice into the pool. The pool contains enough dice to reanimate one of the destroyed models, and so it is set up back into the battlefield. After that model has been reanimated, there is only 1 more dice remaining in the pool. That is not enough to reanimate another one. Okay. So yeah, just as I said. Ooh, command protocols. I should probably read these too. I'm probably not going to. I'm just going to skip through it. I do have Illuminator, so I'm interested to see what he does. Movement 8, weapon and ballistic skill 3+, strength 6, toughness 6, wound 7, 4 attacks, leadership 10, and 3+ save. He has a range 36-inch, assault D3, strength 8, AP -4, D6 damage weapon. Holy crap. Dude's packing a meltagun just in his lance. And then his lance is strength 6, because he's strength user, AP -4, 2 damage. Then impaling legs. Each time the bearer makes some bearer fights, make 2 additional attacks with this weapon. Alright, so free attacks. AP -2, strength user, so strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage. Pretty good. Just 2 additional attacks is always good. Okay. He has living metal, so he's gonna keep regaining wounds every turn. Rites of reanimation in your command phase. Choose. You can select 1 friendly Necron core unit within 6 inches of this model. 1 destroyed model from that unit is reanimated. See page 80. If the selected unit is a Necron Warrior unit, D3 destroyed models from that unit are reanimated instead. Each unit can only be selected for this ability once per phase. Why does it look like just taking a ton of Necron Warriors is looking like a really good strategy right now? Emphric Overcharger, it's an aura ability. When an enemy psychic unit is within 12 inches of this model, each time a psychic test is taken for that unit, it suffers powerful warp on any result that includes doubles instead of just double 1s and double 6s. Pretty good. Ethereal Stern doesn't care, but it's still pretty good. Alright, and then we have the Atomic Energy Manipulator. In the fight phase, if this model destroys 1 or more enemy models, then at the end of that phase, it can use its mechanical whatever ability as if it were the end of your movement phase. Okay. If this model destroys 1 or more enemy models. Okay, so he can do this automatically at the end of the movement phase, as in the ability activates then, or he can do it if he destroys 1 or more enemy models. Not the unit, just the models. That's pretty good. At the end of your movement phase, you can select 1 friendly Necron core unit within 6 inches of this model. If you do so, roll 1d3 and consult the table below. Okay, the D3 results on a number of 1. Units, until the end of the battle, add 1 to the strength characteristics of this models in that unit. On a 2, until the end of the battle, add 1 to the toughness characteristics of models in that unit. And on 3, until the end of the battle, improve the ballistic skill of models by 1. Holy crap. Ooh. Each unit can only be selected for an ability once per battle. I think I'd go with the plus ballistic skill. That just sounds really, really, really good. Okay. This model can use the Rites of Reanimation ability 1 additional time per turn. Oh. Oh, he is baller. Oh, damn. I actually really want to take him in an army. But it really looks like I'm just going to go Necron heavy. Like, Swarm heavy. Which is weird. So I can take him and I can take Trzyn the Infinite, which is making me happy. When a friendly Necron core unit within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit is selected to make a normal move, advanced move until the end of the phase, add 1 to that movement characteristic. Okay, that's pretty good. What are your other abilities? My Will Be Done. In your command phase, you can select 1 friendly Necron core unit within 9 inches of this model until the start of your next phase. Each time a model in that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. Each unit can only be selected for this ability once per phase. Alright, so you're hitting on 2s now with a +1. Holy crap. Necron's a beast. Ancient Collector. If this model is included in your army, the Dynastic Heirloom Stratagem costs 1 fewer command point to use the first time it is used. If this model is included in your Crusade or Crusade Force, the Relic Requisition cost is 0. Oh my god, because he has stuff. I get it. I get it. He's a collector. I kind of want to have the Infinity Gauntlet like dangling from his side. Like, he doesn't know what it is, he just has it. Surrogate Host. When this model is destroyed, instead of using any other rules that trigger when a model is destroyed, after removing it from play, you can roll 1d6 on a 2+. You can select another friendly Necron infantry character model on the battlefield, excluding a named character. Remove that model as though it were destroyed. You cannot use the rules for triggering when a model is destroyed. And return that model to play, placing it in the removed model's place with 3 runes remaining. So you kill him, and he does the whole Doombot thing, and he's just like, nope, I'm over here. I like him. I like him. I love him. Okay, then we have the Royal Warden. Okay. Because I have one of these guys, too, so I want to read about these guys. Oh, they changed the name of the Destroyer Lord. Now he's the Locust Lord. Huh. Royal Warden. Movement 6, Ballistic Weapon Skill 3+, Strength Toughness 5, Wounds 4, 3 attacks, Leadership 10, 3+ save. This army's going to get really confusing because you have so much different freaking wounds and toughness characteristics everywhere. Or strength and toughness characteristics everywhere. Relic Gauze Blaster is a rapid fire 2 weapon, strength 5, AP -2, 2 damage. Kind of seems like garbage. Adaptive Strategist. In your command phase, you can select 1 friendly Dynasty Core unit within 9 inches of this model until the end of the turn. That unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge, even if they fell back. That's okay. When a friendly Dynasty Core unit within 6 inches of the model, each time a unit is selected to make a normal move, advance roll, he just kind of seems like a cheap HQ. I don't know, like, Trazine looks better. Alright, then we have the Scorpic Lord. Movement of 8, which is pretty decent. Weapon and Ballistic Skill 2+. Oh yeah, he's also 3+. Wow, he sucks. Strength Toughness 6, Wounds 6, 4 attacks, Leadership 10, 3+ save. He has the Atomic Annihilator, 18 inches, Assault 2d3, Strength 6, AP -1, Damage 1, and Blast, which is okay. 2d3 is going to be an average of 4 shots. Strength 6 hitting on 2s is pretty good. But it's not, like, devastating. It's good against, like, Sisters of Battle and, well, Eldar and Guard. That's pretty much it. His Claw is Strength 6 because of Strength User, AP -1, 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, make 2 attacks instead of 1. So we can have a total of 8 attacks with his Claw. And his Hyperphase Harvester is Strength +2, so Strength 8, AP -4, 3 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from its hit roll. I don't want to say this guy sucks, but he's kind of bad compared to the other named characters. Alright, United in Destruction or ability. When a friendly Dynasty Destroyer cult unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll the wound rolls of 1. Reroll a wound roll of 1. Not even the wound rolls. Just one of them. He has a 4+ invulnerable save. Each time a model makes an attack, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. I don't think he's that good. I don't know how I feel about the Scorpic Lord. I don't know if I would run him over 2 named characters. Maybe somebody can show me something else that makes them good. I mean, the Hyperphase weapon is really good because it's 4 attacks at strength 8, AP -4. That's ridiculous. Let's not kid ourselves. But he's just kind of a melee lord. So then we have the Husk Lord is the Destroyer Lord. Movement 8, weapon and ballistic skill 3+ instead of 2+. I can speak, I promise. Strength 5, toughness 6. Toughness 6 is really good. 4 attacks, leadership 10, 3+ save. He has the Staff of Light, which is a shooting attack and a melee weapon. Assault 3, strength 5, AP -2, 1 damage. It's just worse than most of the other weapons. It's actually just a bad version of the Relic Gauze Blaster. Its melee is strength 5 because it's strength user, AP -2, 1 damage. He can take a Void Blade if he does. It's strength 5, AP -3, 1 damage. Each time the bearer fights, make 1 additional attack with this weapon, so he has 5 attacks with that weapon. He also has a War Scythe, strength +2, so 5, 6, 7. So strength 7, AP -4, 2 damage. The War Scythe is the only thing that you would want to give him, in my opinion. Everything else just seems like crap. Alright, so he has the war gear options to switch out all of that stuff, obviously. He has other war gear. This is the Phylactery. Each time this model uses its living metal ability, it regains D3 wounds instead of 1. So he can go back up to full pretty quickly, which is really good. So he's a really cheap lord that can move quickly. And then he has the Resurrection Orb. Once per battle, in your command phase, the bearer can use the Resurrection Orb. If it does, select 1 friendly Dynasty unit within 6 inches of the bearer that is not at its starting strength and has not had any reanimation protocols enacted this phase. That unit's reanimation protocols are enacted and every destroyed model in that unit begins to reassemble. So I assume what it means is you put them all back. So he's actually good. Like, I would take the Locust Lord over the Scorpic Lord. The Locust Lord just seems really good. So far I'm looking at the Illuminator, Trazine, and a Locust Lord. Then you got the basic Lord. He can have a Resurrection Orb, and he can change out his weapons to what we saw. He only has 4 wounds, same as the other one. No, he has 4 wounds instead of 6. Toughness of 5. So he's just kind of there. Catacomb Command Barge is pretty neat. It has 9 wounds, so you can't target it, which is really cool. Unless something else says that you can. The Catacomb Command Barge is just a better version of the Locust Lord, it looks like. But he might not have the Resurrection... No, he has the Resurrection Orb. So I'd never take a Locust Lord over a Catacomb Command Barge. Unless I desperately needed the points. Alright, so he has the Gauze Cannon. Let's see, the Catacomb Command Barge is equipped with a Gauze Cannon and the Staff of Light. And I'm assuming you can switch out the Staff of Light. So, 12-inch movement, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength 5, toughness 6, 9 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 10, 3+ save. Same thing as everybody else, except he moves faster, which is really, really, really good. You want mobility. Alright, so he has the Gauze Cannon. That's his only ranged weapon. It's heavy 3. Strength 6, AP -3, D3 damage. Pretty decent. Can't complain about that. I really like that. I gotta build a Catacomb Command Barge. I want 2 Annihilation Barges and 1 Catacomb Command Barge. So then you just give him the War Scythe. That's his best melee weapon at strength 7, AP -4, 2 damage pop. He's got 4 attacks, so that's pretty decent. If I can open this, that would be terrific. It's a lot of good HQs. That's the one thing I always worry about when it comes to codexes is when they have too many good units in one section, it kind of means that the whole army is going to be based around them. For Sisters of Battle, it's elites and heavies, or troops. Like, they're kind of all over the place. You just triple everything. Space Marines, it's normally the heavy support with the Eradicators, the Devastators, the Outriders. You want at 9, that's fast attack, but you get what I mean. So let's see. Oh, this model also has a Tesla cannon. Or can replace it with the Tesla cannon. I don't know what the Tesla cannon does. And this model can get a Resurrection Orb. So, yeah, it's really good. There we go. So, it's looking like I'm going to go Warrior heavy. That's what I'm feeling from this book. I will be done. Relentless March or ability. When a friendly Dynasty Core unit's within 6 inches of this model, each time that unit is selected to make a normal move or advanced move, until the end of the phase, add 1 to that movement characteristic. Okay, that's pretty good. Quantum Shielding on a 5+. This model has a 5+ invulnerable save. Each time an attack is made against this model, an unmodified wound roll of a 1 through 3 always fail, irrespectively of any abilities that model has. That weapon has. That's really good. So you can only wound him on a 4-up. Catacomb Command Barge is a dope. It does explode and it has hovering, but it does not have the fly key. Oh, it does have fly. So it can actually jump on top of buildings, but it can't fall back and shoot anymore. Fly lost that. Ooh. Catacomb Command Barge is looking good. I might need to grab one. I don't know why I would take an Overlord over a Catacomb Command Barge, but let's see what the Overlord has. He has an arrow that has 120-inch range. Assault 1, Strength 12, AP -5, D6 damage. Oh, that's adorable. The Tachyon arrow. Oh, that is so precious. Relentless March, my will be done. He has a 4+ invo save. That's pretty good. I think the Catacomb Command Barge is like one of the better HQ choices. It seems to combine everything that I want out of an HQ. Aura abilities, good close combat, and good shooting. And this thing just has all of it. So I think what I'm looking at is Illuminator, Trazine, the gay best friend, and a Catacomb Command Barge for my army. Huh. God, there's so many HQs. Holy crap, why are these not elites? Okay, there's 4 more, and it's the Technomancer, Chronomancer, Plasmancer, and the Psychomancer. So, to translate, technology, time, psychology, and plasma. Okay, so the Techno dude. He is a Cryptak. He can take the Cryptak cloak and count as fly, and have a movement characteristic of 10 inches, which is really good. This is probably the one that I'm going to go with. So it's just the regular Cryptak gone. Oh, it actually looks like it. Huh. The regular Cryptak is gone. Well, I'll be damned. So he has a Staff of Light, which isn't that good. Can we change that out? Oh, no we can't. Awesome. Movement of 5. He's going to have a movement of 10 because you put him on his little surfboard. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, strength toughness 4, wounds 4, 1 attack. Leadership 10, 4+, so he's just a buff. Synaptic Cloak. The bearer has a movement characteristic of 10 and the fly keyword. In addition, at the end of your movement phase, you can repair one friendly Dynasty model within 3 inches of this model. That model regains D3 more lost wounds. Each model can only be attempted to be repaired once. Okay, so he just auto heals. Yeah, that's really good. That is solid. It actually looks like I'm probably going to be forced to take dual detachments with Necrons for the amount of HQs. It's kind of like how I have to run my Demons, where I have to take a battalion detachment and I have to take a patrol detachment to get all 5 HQs. This is looking like I'm probably going to need to do the same thing. So I'm probably going to take 2 Technomancers. Let's see. His control node, the bearer has the control node ability. When a friendly Dynasty Cryptek unit is within 6 inches of a model, each time the model that unit makes an attack, add 1 to the attack hit roll. Ooh. Yeah. Crypteks are just dope. Or Technomancers. This dude is amazing. So he is Cryptek, and he has a bunch of other things. Dynasty Advisor, if your army is Battleforged, each Cryptek, excluding Dynasty agents, included in a detachment that also contain at least 1 noble unit. Second Cryptek units can be included in a detachment without taking up a battlefield role. Oh, sweet. So I can take 2 of these guys without ever worrying about taking a second detachment. Never mind. That's really good. Alright, and then Rites of Reanimation. So another thing that helps resurrect Necron Warriors. So again, it looks like I am just going to be buying Necron Warriors like crazy. Probably just run 60 of them. Just to annoy my opponent. Unless the squads can go up to 15. Ooh, if their squads can go up to 15, it might just be tons and tons and tons and tons of Necron Warriors. Kind of like how I want to do that sister list of 90 sisters, just for the S's and G's. Alright, so the Psychomancer, movement of 5, they all have the same thing. He has he has a lance. Okay, 18-inch range, assault 3, strength 4, AP -3, 1 damage. Kind of garbage, but whatever. If your army is Battleforged, then... Okay, that's the Advisor ability. The Advisor ability states if you have a Noble, you can take a Cryptek. If your army is Battleforged, then for each Cryptek unit, excluding Dynasty Agent units, included in a detachment that also contains at least 1 Noble unit, a second Cryptek unit, excluding a Dynasty Agent unit, can be included in that detachment without taking up a battlefield slot. So I assume if you take 2 Nobles, you can take 2 Crypteks without taking up a battlefield slot? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. I think 1 takes up a slot no matter what. Harbinger of Despair. If your army... In your morale phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of this model. Roll 3d6. If the result is greater than the enemy's leadership characteristic, select one of the results on the opposite. One of the results opposite to take effect until the start of your next morale phase. Each unit can only be selected for this ability once per phase. The selected unit cannot perform actions. If that unit is currently performing an action, it immediately fails. The selected unit loses Obsac. Have the advance and charge roll made for the selected unit. Within 12 inches, they're just going to move up and just have a 3-inch charge to you. The selected unit cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend. Okay, so where is his good ability? Huh. I guess his good ability would be they immediately stop performing an action, but that's very situational depending on what your opponent takes. So I don't really know if that's good or not. I don't think he's good. I don't. The Chronomancer has a whole bunch of stuff. The Aeon Staff or Aeon Staff. And he has tendrils, which is kind of neat. The shooting attack is 18 inches, assault D3, strength 5, AP -2, damage 1, blast. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, invulnerable saving throws cannot be taken against it. Okay, that's really, really, really good. The lance for shooting is... You're in place with 1 lance. Okay, 18 inches, assault 1, strength 8, AP -3, D3 +3. Holy crap, this guy's shooting is crazy. Okay, so the Aeon Staff in melee is strength user, so strength 4, AP -2, 1 damage. No invulnerable saves. The tendrils are strength user, so strength 4, AP of 0, 1 damage. Each time the bearer fights, make 3 additional attacks with this weapon. It's pretty decent. And then the other lance, the Entropic Lance, is strength user, strength 4, AP -3, 3 damage. This guy is just kind of a beast. Okay, so he has living metal, which all of them have, so they regain wounds, which is really good. They have command protocols, obviously. They have the Dynasty Advisor. Time-splitting mantle. He has a 4+ invo save. That actually makes him really, really, really good, so he's not going to take that much damage. And Chronometron. In your command phase, you can select 1 friendly Dynasty unit within 9 inches of this model. Until the start of your next command phase, you can reroll charge rolls made for that unit, and models in that unit have a 5+ invulnerable save. Chronomancer seems like he's the best. Just gonna put this out there. The Chronomancer is the best. And he has an 8-inch movement. He's just good. Huh, but let me see. What, I can give him some of the Cryptech abilities too. That one's just for the Plasmancer. The one that I wanted is for any of them. And the other one that I wanted is any of them. Yeah. So I think I need a Chronomancer. Or 2. I really like the Chronomancer. And the Plasmancer, the thing that you get. Movement of 5, so he's slower than a Necron. Actually, he's pretty average for a Necron. Ballistic and weapon skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 wounds, 1 attack, 10 leadership 4+. He has the Plasmic Lance. Shooting attack is range 18. Assault D3, strength 7, AP -3, 2 damage. Pretty decent. Melee is strength user, so strength 4, AP -3, 2 damage. Pretty okay, actually. It's not great. It's better than a Staff of Light. Living Lightning. At the start of your fight phase, roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model. On a 4+, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. It's not great. He has Living Metal and Command Protocols, obviously. Harbinger of Destruction. At the start of your movement phase, if this model did not fall back in that phase, roll 3d6 for each 4+. The closest enemy unit within 24 inches of this and visible to this suffers 1 mortal wound. 3d6. So at most you're dealing 3 mortal wounds just for free. He's not... Or they... They're capable of wielding energy. I know sometimes they're referred to as women too, which is kind of interesting. Just in the lore, in the beginning, they added women to Necrons, which I thought was cool. That's actually okay. It's not great, and it probably won't do anything, but it's not bad. But the Chronomancer is just better. Yeah. And then he has the Dynasty Advisor. Huh. Out of the Cryptex, I really think the Technomancer and... Oh, is the Technomancer actually that good? Arts of Animation. He can just resurrect D3 of them. That's pretty good. But is it as good as the Chronomancer's abilities? I don't think so. The Chronomancer's damage output is insane. The 9 inches of this unit, at the start of the command phase, you can reroll charge and invulnerable saves. He gives an invulnerable save. Like, that's going to be tough to deal with. If he gives a 15 blob unit of warriors a 5+ invo save, that... oh. And he has a 4+ invo save. And he has all of those weapons. Well, he has the Aeon Staff, or Aeon Staff, however you want to say it. The other one resurrects. So the Psychomancer is practically pointless. And I think the Plasmancer's abilities are cool. Because at the start of the fight phase, roll d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model, and a 4+ 8 unit suffers 1 mortal wound. At the end of your movement phase, if this model did not fall back, roll. So he has the potential of dealing 5 mortal wounds, which is really, really, really cool. But he's not good. I think the Chronomancer is the best. That 4+ invo save plus living metal means that he's probably not going to die in one turn, and he's going to be extremely annoying for your opponent. And then to be able to give 5+ invo save is so dirty. So yeah. Next we're going on to Warriors. I think the Chronomancer definitely won that. Next we're going on to Necron Warriors. You can have 20 of them in a unit. A 20-man unit with a 5+ invulnerable... Okay, as somebody who plays Sisters of Battle constantly, the 4-up invulnerable save saves so many of my sisters and annoys the piss out of so many opponents that it's not even funny. Like, it is ridiculous how many saves I make. And I absolutely love it. Like, it is insane. So having a 5+ invo save on a squad of 20, especially if you take a command barge and you pop the reanimation, the resurrection orb on them and res them all, holy cow, that just seems really, really, really freaking good. Oh. Okay, so let's take a look at their weapons. Their movement is only 5 inches, so they're slow as hell. Weapon and ballistic skill 3+, strength toughness 4, wounds 1, 1 attack, leadership 10, 4+ save. Okay, so they're not terrific, but they're in that, they're really good though. So the Gauze Flare, which is the normal weapon, that's the single beam, the green bar that we all remember. Rapid fire, it's 24-inch range, rapid fire 1, strength 4, AP -1, 1 damage. The Gauze Reaper, on the other hand, is a 12-inch range, assault 2, strength 5, AP -2, 1 damage weapon. I don't know which one I actually like better. One is 12 inches. I think the Gauze Flare is better for, you know, getting up there, but the Gauze Reaper could have AP -3 with the Menford Dynasty. That's really, really, really good. Let me just double check that. You know what? Yeah, let's double check that. Menford Soul of Fury at 3 inches to the range characteristics, so the 15 inches, that's better. Each time a model with this code makes a ranged attack that targets a unit within half range. So what would 15 be? 7.5 inches. Increasing armor penetration characteristic of that attack is improved by 1. Okay. So 15-inch range is much better. So 10, it's 15. What's 15 plus 5 is 20. They're not making it into shooting turn 1, so they are actually going to have to advance, which is interesting, in order to shoot. But the other one, with 24, is only going to have to move up to 5 inches and then shoot. Their number is Legion. Reroll animation protocols of 1s for this unit. I am definitely taking full blobs of 20 Necron Warriors. There is no reason not to. Even with blast weapons and everything, who the hell cares? You're just going to resurrect everything. Alright, the other troop choice is Immortals. They could be in 5 to 10 man units. Their stats are exactly the same, except their toughness 5, and they have 2 attacks. So they have the Gauze Blaster or the Tesla Carbine. You can switch, you can pick which one, of course paying the points. The Gauze Blaster is ranged 30 inches, so 33 inches. Rapid Fire 1, Strength 5, AP -2, 1 damage. The Tesla Carbine, which I believe is the better weapon, is 24 inches, Assault 2, Strength 5, AP -0, and Damage 1. But each time an attack is made with this weapon, an unmodified hit roll of a 6 scores 2 additional hits. So especially if you're using Menfrit, you have an AP -1. So it just becomes a bit of a better weapon, in my opinion. So it's double the shots. Well, it's actually not double the shots, because they can rapid fire at 33, so... Oh, trying to figure out... That is 15, 16, 17.5. They get the double tap. AP -3. But I feel like the damage output of the Tesla weapons is better. They actually don't have anything for resurrecting themselves. So I think Immortals are not as good as Necron Warriors. Yeah, I really think Necron Warriors have them beat. Huh. But they could be a cheap troop choice. So if you want to just run 3 squads of Immortals and just focus on everything else, that's also a good tactic. So now we move on to Elites. The Reanimator, the adorable Synaptic Camel. One of my favorite new Necrons, because I gave him a smiley face. He has the Beam weapon, which is range 12, Assault 3, Strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage. Oh, he's got 2 of these. So he's got 6 shots with these damn things. He moves 8, Weapon Skill and Ballistic Skill 4+, Strength Toughness 5, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, Leadership 10, 3+, and he is a monster and not a vehicle. That's so interesting. Reanimator's Claws are melee attacks, are Strength User, Strength 5, AP -2, 1 damage. He's got 4 attacks with them, which is actually pretty okay. He can explode, which is fun. He's got Living Metal and Command Protocol, so he automatically regains lost wounds. Nanoscarab Reanimation Beam Aura ability. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Dynasty unit within 6 inches and visible to this unit. Until the start of your next command phase, when that unit is selected, if that unit is within 6 inches and visible to this model, then... okay, hold up. And is visible to this model, that unit is being healed by the model's Reanimation Beam. While the unit is being healed by the Reanimation Beam, add 1 to the Reanimation Protocol rolls made for that unit. Each unit can only ever be healed by 1 Reanimation Beam at a time. So they're getting up on what? A 4 up? Stratagems. No, where is it? Was it in rules? I don't think it was. Where the heck was it? The shoot abilities. Reanimation Protocols is on a 5+. So it's on a 4+. You're healing back a ton of Necron Warriors. And if you have a squad of 20, they are just not going to die. Oh my god, this is so much better than I thought it was. Shirt's riding up. There we go. Alright, the Hexmark Destroyer. The Yeehaw Cowboy Robot. Alright, so he's got a movement of 8, Weapon Skill 3+, Ballistic Skill 2+, Strength Toughness of 5, Wounds 5, 4 attacks, Leadership 10, 3+ save. He is equipped with 6 of these pistols, range 18, pistol 1, strength 6, AP -1, 1 damage. He's got living metal command protocols, dimensional translocation, so he moves an extra 6 inches if he advances for free without applying terrain. Inescapable death. Each time this model makes a ranged attack, you can ignore any of the hit, roll, and ballistic skill modifiers. The target does not receive the benefits of cover against these attacks. In addition, each time this model fires Overwatch, it scores an unmodified hit roll of a 2+ instead of 6. Holy crap, this guy's incredible at overwatching. Although his weapons are kind of meh. Each time an enemy model is destroyed by a ranged attack made by this model's pistols, after this model makes the rest of its attacks, it can shoot with one of its pistols an additional time. These attacks cannot generate additional attacks. So if he destroys a model, he gets to fire his pistol again. Each time this model makes an attack, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. This guy's pretty neat. He's not great, but he's kind of cool. It's weird that he can't teleport in. He might have an ability for it, but so far I don't see it. He's part of the Destroyer cult. Ooh, I do have a unit of Lich Guard. Let's see their stats. 5 to 10, movement 5, weapon blitz skill 3+, strength toughness 5, wounds 2, 3 attacks, toughness, leadership 10, 3+ save. They have the Hyper Phase Sword, which is actually a Kopesh, and they should call it that. This unit contains 6 models. It has a power rating of 14. Okay. Strength +1, so strength 6, AP -3, 1 damage. Or the War Scythe, which is strength +2, so 7, AP -4, 2 damage. Holy crap. The Dispersion Shield is a 4+ invulnerable save that it's a Storm Shield. It adds +1 to their armor save, which actually might be a little bit better. So then it goes over its options. Living Metal, Reanimation Protocols, Command Protocols, Guardian Protocols. When a friendly Dynasty Infantry Noble or Dynasty Agent Infantry Noble unit is within 3 inches of this unit, enemy units cannot target that unit with ranged weapons. Oh, neat. But they have to be from the Dynasty. And those 2 characters that I want are not part of the Dynasty, so they can't block for them. That's actually pretty neat. Flayed ones are elite choices. They're dirt cheap. They're there. They have 3 attacks, which is kind of good. Lich Guard have 3 attacks and just look better. Flayed ones have strength 4 weapon at AP -1, 1 damage. Each time a model in this unit makes an melee attack against an enemy non-vehicle unit, an unmodified roll of a 6 scores 1 additional hit. When an enemy unit is within 3 inches of this unit, subtract 2 from its leadership. I mean, I guess you could -3 from somebody's leadership, kill 3 guys. That's leadership -6. But at that point, your opponent's just going to spend the 2 command points and just be like, nope, and then immediately kill the unit because they have no way of actually defending themselves. Yeah, they're just kind of... I mean, they can have 20 in a squad, which is terrifying. But, yeah. I don't like them. I don't like them. They're battling for the elite slot in the Necron Codex, and there's tons of them. So then we have the Thralls. These are those 2 little jet engine dumpster guys. And, yeah, they're kind of bad. Let's see. Their limb weapon, they have a pistol, which is pistol 2, strength 5, AP -2, 1 damage. And their strength, their melee attacks are strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage. Then for each Cryptek unit included in the data sheet, 1 Cryptek draw unit can be included in that data sheet without taking that detachment without taking up battlefield role. So that's kind of cool. They're just bodyguards for Crypteks. Yeah, and then they go to weapon skill and ballistic skill of 3+, if there's a Cryptek near them. They're okay. They're not great. I'm not going to take them. Scorpic Destroyers. I have a whole bunch of these guys. I have 9 of these guys. So how many can they go into a squad? Ooh, 6. I'll take a squad of 6. That sounds pretty cool. Scorpic Destroyers, movement 8, weapon and ballistic skill 3+, strength, toughness 5, wounds 3, 3 attacks, leadership 10, 3+ save. That's a pretty good stat line. So they have the... For every 3 models in the unit, 1 model is equipped with the Hyper Phase Reap Blade. Every other model is equipped with the Hyper Phase Thrasher. So the Reap Blade is strength +2, so strength 7. AP -4, 3 damage. The Thrasher is strength user, so strength 5, AP -3, 2 damage. And the Bearer of Fights makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. Wow, the Thrasher sounds better. Just saying. Hardwired for destruction. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, reroll hit rolls of 1. That's really good. Especially if you can pop a 5-up invulnerable save on them, and then you have 6 of them running in with a 5-up invo save, and they're just going to murder something. 6 of them is 6, 12, 18... 19, 20, 21, 22, 22 attacks at, for the most part, AP -3, AP -4, 2 damage, 3 damage. Yeah, they're gonna be nasty. I actually like these guys. Synaptic Plasma Sight is just a 1-thing unit. It has a tiny melee attack at strength user, which is strength 4, damage 1. Its toughness is 5 for something that's this big. That's like a super grot. Movement 8, weapon and ballistic skill 4+. Strength 4, toughness 5, wounds 1, attacks 1, leadership 10, 4+ save. Vital construct. If your army is battleforged, then for each Dynasty Destroyer cult unit included in the detachment, 1 of these dudes may be included in the detachment without taking up a slot. Okay? Evasion Protocols. When this model is within 3 inches of a friendly Destroyer cult unit, enemy models cannot target this model with ranged weapons unless it is the closest eligible target. In addition, this unit cannot perform actions. Okay. Recall Protocols. In the units... the check step of the morale phase, if this model is within 6 inches of any friendly Destroyer cult units... it just actually hits all units. This model is destroyed. Oh, if he's not within 6 inches of any Destroyer cult, he just dies. Oh, that's sad. Infused Madness. Once per turn at the start of either your charge or fight phase, you can select 1 friendly Dynasty Destroyer cult unit within 3 inches of this model. If you do, roll 1d6. On a 1, the model in the unit is destroyed, or 1 model in that unit is destroyed, regardless of the results. Until the end of the turn, add 1 to the strength and attack characteristics of models in that unit. Oh, maybe flayed ones are actually pretty good if you have a 20-man unit and you have a ton of attacks. Throwing a plasma sight on there might be really good. Each unit can only be selected for this ability once per turn. So that's 4 attacks apiece. That's 6 times 4. Oh my god, that's so many attacks. It's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 28. 28 attacks with a 5-up invo if you combine them with the Chronomancer. God damn. You can get a lot of attacks out of such small numbers. Okay, so I'm really liking those Scorpic Destroyers. Might take 1 unit of 6 with the plasma sight next to him and just run up. Just be all happy. The Stalker, I have one of these. I don't think I'm ever going to play it, but I have one. It's Quantum Shielding, so it has a 5+. In addition, 1, 2s, and 3s don't affect this weapon. They just wound rolls of 1, 2, and 3 fail against this vehicle. Targeting relay. Each time a model makes a ranged attack against an enemy unit, if it scores a hit, until the end of the phase, each time another friendly Necron unit makes a ranged attack against that unit, reroll hit rolls of 1. That's pretty good. And it explodes. So this thing can have a heat ray or one heavy gauze cannon or one particle shredder. Okay, so the heat ray is 12-inch. Okay, so it has two profiles. The first one is at 12-inch. Heavy 2d6, strength 5, AP -1 damage each time an attack is made with this weapon that automatically hits the target. Oh, so it's a flamethrower at that point. And then focused is heavy 2, strength 8, AP -4, and then it's d6, and then it has the melter rule. So that's pretty good. The particle shredder is range 24, heavy 8, strength 6, AP -1, 2 damage. That just seems way better than the heat ray. And the twin heavy gauze cannon is heavy 6, strength 7, AP -3, d3 damage. And then it's got its stalker 4 limbs for its number of attacks, which it has 3 attacks. Starts out at movement 10, goes down to 6. Weapon skill 3+, and ballistic skill 3+ goes to a 5+. So taking the heat ray might be not terrible. 2d6 is really good. But I think I would actually take the particle shredder. If I do take it. Holy cow, we're almost an hour and 45 minutes into this. And I'm barely through well, I'm almost finished with the Codex. And then you have this, oh my god, there's so many elites in this army. So then you have the Satan shards. And honestly, I think the Nightbringer might be the best. Alright, so I hate the Deceiver because it is dumb. It's just Golden Boy. Living Metal, Dimensional Translocation. So if it advances, it does it without, interfering of terrain. So all of their stats are not the same. No, they're all different. Okay, so the Deceiver stats is movement 8, weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 9, attacks 5, leadership 10, 4+ save. Grand Illusion. At the start of the first battle round, you can select up to 3 friendly Necron units, remove those units from the battlefield, then set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within your deployment zone. If the mission you are playing uses the Strategic Reserve rules, you can place any of these units in Strategic Reserve instead. Pretty good. Enslaved Star God, which I think they all have this ability. So this model can never have a relic or warlord trait. In addition, enemy models can ignore the Lookout Sir rule when selecting this model as a target for ranged attacks. Okay, misdirection. Each time an attack is made against this model, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Necrodermis, which I think they all have Necrodermis, don't they? Yes, they do. This model has a 4+ invulnerable save. In addition, this model cannot lose more than 3 wounds in the same phase. Any wounds that would be lost after that point are not lost. Which is really good. So in order to kill this thing in 1 turn, you have to shoot it 3 times, shoot it and cause 3 damage, psychic it and cause 3 damage, and then you have to assault it to kill it in 1 turn. Good luck. When this model is destroyed, roll 1d6 before removing it from play. On a 4+, it explodes, and each unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. So they all have the explode ability, I think? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So what's funny is the Nightbringer and the Deceiver are both like this big, and then the Void Dragon is like this big. The Void Dragon is the same size as like an Imperial Knight. It's hilarious. So he has a power of the Satan. This model knows the Cosmic Insanity Satan power and 1 other Satan power selected from the list. At the end of your movement phase, if this model did not advance or fall back, in that phase it can use 2 of the Satan powers it knows. It cannot use the same Satan power more than once. So if it falls back, it can only use 1, which is good to know. They're 18 power rating. Holy crap, these things are expensive. Satan Shard of the Nightbringer. Oh yeah, and his Golden Fist is Strength User, so Strength 6, AP -3, 3 damage. He's not that good. I think the Deceiver is probably the saddest of them. Okay. The Nightbringer. Movement 8, weapon and ballistic skill 2+, strength 7, toughness 7, wounds 9, attack 6, leadership 10, 4+ save. He is equipped with a scythe, which has 2 profiles. It has the Reaping Sweep, which is a melee attack strength user, so strength 7, AP -3, 1 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon profile, make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So each time you use this thing, you make 2 attacks. 2 hit rolls instead of 1. Holy crap. Wait, does that mean he has 12 attacks? And then he has his other attack, which is before selecting a target, select one of the profiles to make attacks with. Okay, then he has a strength ×2, so strength 14, AP -4, d6 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon's profile, and vulnerable saves cannot be taken. He just kills Titans. Oh. 6 attacks against an Imperial Knight is going to down it really quickly. Or he can kill another... He can literally do that and kill any character in the game. Of course, if he scores hits and wounds. But at strength 14, he is wounding on 2s against everything that he would be swinging at. Holy crap, this guy is insane. I'm really liking the Nightbringer. Okay, then he has the Necrodermis, so he's a 4+ Invo save. He has the Enslaved Gods, he has the Reality Unmade. Then he has Drain Life. Each time this model makes a melee attack that is allocated to an enemy model, that enemy model cannot use any rules to ignore the wounds it loses. No. You need to pop like transhuman physiology against this thing immediately if you're a Space Marine. Holy crap, what the hell? Oh, and then you have Fly. So they have monster character Fly, Satan Shard of, and then their respected god. They have no Dynasty keyword, but holy crap. The Nightbringer is looking like a nightmare. I'm sorry. That was not meant to be like a pun or anything. That was strictly dumb. Satan Shard of the Void Dragon. Movement 8, weapon and ballistic skill 2. Oh yeah, he also has the ability, he has the Gaze of Death Satan power, and he can choose one more, and then do 2 of them if he doesn't fall back, or advance, and do 1 if he does. So strength 6, toughness 7, wounds 9, attacks 5, he has less attacks than Nightbringer, leadership 10, 3+ save. I feel like he should have a 2+ save. But he has a 3+ save, which is better than everybody else's. So his biggest differences is... Oh, I really thought he would have a higher toughness, too, being a machine and all. Okay, so he has the Spear of the Void Dragon. Then he has his Canaptic Tail Blades. And he has the Spear of his Void Dragon for the melee attacks. So at range, it's range 12, heavy 1, strength 9, AP -4, d6 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, if a hit is scored, draw a straight line between the closest point of this model's base or hull and that of the closest model in the target unit. Make 1 wound roll against that target unit, and each other unit that line passes over. Each time an attack is made with this weapon is allocated to a vehicle. That attack has a damage characteristic of D3 + 3. So if he picks something that's 12 inches away and there's like 10 guys in his path, he's hitting all 10 of them. We've seen this in previous editions with like Blood Lance and things like that. But it's kind of cool to see it again, because you don't see confusing weapons like this anymore. The tail blades are strength user, so strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage. Each time the bearer fights, make D6 additional attacks with this weapon. Okay, So he attacks normally with his 5 attacks, and then he has d6 tail attacks. Alright, so Spear of the Void Dragon is strength plus 3, so strength 9, AP minus 4, d6 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon is allocated to a vehicle model. This attack has a damage characteristic of d3 plus 3. So it's ironic that he's not as good at killing Titans as the Nightbringer is. I find that really amusing. Okay, so he has Necrodermis, Enslaved Star Gods, Reality Unveils, and Matter Absorption. At the end of the phase, roll d6 for each enemy vehicle model destroyed as a result of an attack made by this model, or the Satan powers used by this model in that phase. For each 2+, this model regains 1 lost wound. Okay, that could be very good depending on the situation. Although I do wish it said monster as well, because this power is completely useless against Tyranids. This model knows the Voltic Storm, which is the really good one. Satan power as well as 1 more. And yeah. So the Nightbringer is the best. In my opinion. I'm still going to buy the Void Dragon and turn him into Sigma from Overwatch, because I think that is absolutely 100% hilarious. But I really, 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 really want a Nightbringer. And I'm probably going to custom make one, because I don't really like, I don't really like the little tiny model. I think I'm going to up them to 100 mil base and get a demon to do it. Not like actually get a demon model, just summon a demon so that they can convert it for me. That's the correct thing to do. Oh yeah, then there's the Transcendent Satan, which is not as many points. Movement 8, weapon skill, bliss skill 2+, strength 6, toughness 7, 9 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 10, 4+ save. Okay, so he has all of the other abilities. That's the other guy. He has Crackling Tendrils, which is a melee attack. It's strength user, so strength 6, AP minus 4, d6 damage. He's not bad. But if you're going to take a shard, take the Nightbringer. Spend the points. So then he has a d6 ability. Wait, what? Fractured Personality. Before the battle, select one of the abilities on the table to the right. This model to have for the duration of the battle. Alternatively, you can randomly determine 2 abilities by rolling 2d6. Okay. So his abilities are: at the end of your movement phase, this model has not advanced or fallen back in that phase. It can use 1 additional Satan power. Okay. That's pretty good. Immune to the natural laws. Each time an attack is made against 1, 2, and 3 fail against him for wound rolls. That's pretty good, especially being that you would need something at strength 7 to wound him on 4 up. He has a save characteristic of 3+, which kind of sucks. This model gains the dimensional translocation ability, which sucks. This model has an attack characteristic of 6 and a strength characteristic of 7. Okay, so he gains 1 attack and 1 strength. At the start of your movement phase, roll 1d6 for each enemy unit within engagement range. On a 4+, they suffer 1 mortal wound in addition. So you want the first 2 abilities. The rest of them kind of suck. I wouldn't take him over the other ones. I love the spider. I've gone over the spider before. I'm not going to go over him again. He's adorable and I love him. But I think he also has 2 gauze weapons. Yeah, 2 particle beamers. So he's got actually 12 attacks, 12 shots, which is really good. Then we have the Destroyers, the Tomb Blades. I don't have any of those. The Triarch Praetorians. I don't actually... No, I do have these guys. I do have a couple of Praetorians. So they have the Void Blade, which is pretty good. pistol. Okay. Nothing really good there. I have a couple of wraiths. I heard these guys got worse. Yep. Weapon and ballistic skill 4+, strength 4, toughness 5, 3 wounds, 4 attacks, 10 leadership, 3+ save. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, make 2 hit rolls instead of 1. So that's 8 attacks with them, which is pretty good because I equipped all of them with whip coils and no guns. So that's pretty good. I'm going to need 6 of them in a unit before they're actually good. The Annihilation Barge. I have one of these things. Is it good? Probably not. Twin Tesla Destructor is heavy 10. God damn, that's a good weapon. But I have it with the Gauze Cannons because I'm an idiot. The Annihilation Barge is equipped with Gauze Cannon, Twin Tesla Destructor. Okay. Just one Gauze Cannon? It looks like it has 2. Huh. Okay, Gauze Cannon. Heavy 3, strength 6, AP -3, D3 damage. The other one that it can transfer to is the Tesla Cannon, which is strength 6, AP -0, 1 damage. And each score of a 6 hits twice. And it has this Tesla Destructor. This thing isn't bad. It's not very good. But it's not bad. I like it. I like it. It's got a good amount of shots. It's not great, but I like it. Alright. Doomsday Arc is still the Doomsday Arc. It's still amazing. Nothing about it really changed too much from what I remember. Its ballistic skill goes down to a 5+. Its high-powered shot is still 72 inches, heavy D6, strength 10, AP -5, D6. Blast. The bearer can only make an attack with this if it didn't move. If it remains stationary, essentially. Then it has the Gauze Flare array, which is really good. Now I'm going to compare this to the Annihilator, the new Synaptic Annihilator dude guy. Then we have the Locust Destroyers and the Locust Heavy Destroyers. So the Heavy Destroyer, I think, is a lot better than the traditional one. Because you give it the strength 10 AP -4, 3d3 damage weapon. And it just... Oh wait, that actually... Is that the new one? Huh. Huh. So they did get rid of the old Heavy Destroyers. Well, I'll be damned. Huh. Okay, I guess I gotta get some Locust Heavy Destroyers because they're really good. 3 in a unit, and then 3 strength 10 shots hitting on 3s. Hell yeah, I want that. Okay, and then you have what? Doesn't suffer penalties to hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. Yeah, that's really good. The Locust Heavy Destroyers are really, really, really fantastic. I really thought the Destroyers, the Heavy Destroyers, and the Locust Heavy Destroyer were 3 different units, but I was wrong. So that is my bad. The Synaptic Doomstalker, or the Synaptic Doom Camel. So let's see. Yeah, yours is exactly the same, except the shorter range. Strength 10, AP -5, AP -5, D6 damage. Can you move and fire? You have a 4+ info save. Holy crap, you're way better than this thing. Anything that has an info save is infinitely better than anything that doesn't have an info save. Alright, but you have a wounds characteristic of 12. And you have a wounds characteristic of 14. 10 power level versus 7 power level, and this thing has an info save. Huh. Each time an enemy unit declares a charge against a friendly Dynasty or Dynasty agent unit within 6 inches of this model, unless that model is within engagement range of any enemy models, that model can fire Overwatch at the charging unit even if unit as if it were also the target of that charge. This is in addition to any other unit that are firing Overwatch. Oh, these things are just great. Huh. I thought these were going to be worse than the Doomsday Arc, but they're just better than the Doomsday Arc. Yeah, they're just better. And then we go to the transports, which is just one of them, the Ghost Arc, and it doesn't have its repair bridge. In your command phase, you can select one friendly Dynasty Necron Warrior unit within 6 inches of this model. If you do so, up to 3 destroyed units from that units reanimate. Each unit can only be selected for this ability once. So yeah, you take a couple of Ghost Arcs and you just constantly reanimate your 20-man blob of Necron Warriors. I'm really liking the idea of taking 3 squads to 20 warriors. So 60 warriors, and just constantly reanimating them. Like you take 3 reanimation camels, you take 2 Ghost Arcs, you take 1 Lord, 1 command barge, and yeah, it's kind of really funny. I really like that idea, just constantly resurrecting them and then have 3 of the Synaptic Doom camels walking around. That just seems really, really, really fun. I don't have the planes, so I'm not going to go over them because I don't know enough about them. Then they have the Obelisk, the Tesseract Vault, and the Monolith is now a super heavy. And the Monolith is hilarious, and I want to get a Monolith. But I'm not going to go over it. The Silent King is in here, and they have their weird Necron terrain thingy, which is kind of neat, I guess. I do want the Silent King. I want the Silent King really bad. Damn, he has got a lot of wounds. That's 16 wounds. Annihilation Beam, Heavy 1, Strength 12, AP minus 4, D6 damage. Scepter of the Eternal Glory, 24-inch, Assault 3, Strength 8, AP minus 3, 2 damage. Staff of the Stars. Can he equip himself with all of these things? Is equipped with the Scepter of Eternal Glory, the Staff of Stars, the Scythe of Dust. Every Triarch, whatever, is equipped with an Annihilation Beam. Your army can only ever include one of the Silent King. Alright, so the Staff of Dust is a melee attack. The Staff of Stars is a melee attack. Each time the bearer fights, make 4 additional attacks with this weapon, and no more than 4 can be made with this weapon. Okay, so he has how many attacks? 6 attacks? Makes 4 additional attacks. Okay, so this is a weird number of attacks with this weapon. And then each time the bearer fights, it makes 3 additional attacks with this weapon. Okay, so then he has the Scepter of Eternal Glory, which he does his 6 attacks with at Strength 9, AP minus 3, 3 damage. And then he has a million freaking abilities. Yeah, I want him. He's got like a million abilities. Look at this. Look at this dude. Just straight up an entire page of abilities. Whew. I'm not going to go over all of that. I'm going to have to make an army list. We're going to have to do that for another video. We're definitely going to have to do that for another video. To make an army list of what I have. I am kind of super excited for that. So, Necron Codex is looking pretty scary, but not like... I don't know how to put this. It's not like the best Codex I've read, because that's Sisters of Battle. But I have my biases. But I actually think it's better than the Space Marines. I am actually going to go out and say that I think the Necron Codex is going to perform better than the Space Marines, but there's not going to be many Necron players, so tournaments aren't going to really show this too much. But I guarantee you high-end Necron players are going to be showing up at tournaments now, and they're going to be rocking tournaments and scaring a lot of people. And I do think that Space Marine players have to bring a couple of blast weapons, because otherwise Necrons and Tyranids are going to run them over. So, that was 2 hours of me going over the Necron Codex in my own way. Just going over it based on what I actually wanted out of it, so sorry about that. But I want to know your thoughts. Tell me everything. Tell me your comments in the comment section down below. Tell me what you plan to field for your army. I want to know your army comps, because I really, 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 really want ideas for what I can do with my Necron Warriors and my Necron Dynasty. Yeah, I'm super excited about this now. I can't wait to get my Necrons out and actually play them. So, with that all said, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Comment in the comment section down below. Also, check out all the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media. I'm moving to a new apartment, so I hate asking, but please check out my Patreon. Every dollar helps. It really, really, really does. And I do this as a fill-in for getting more hours at work, and I'm still working 2 days a week, and it kind of sucks. Anyway, guys, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.